checkers, also played some checkers and chess back in those days.
I don't even know how to play chess. So confusing for me. So many little things you can do. It's just.
Yeah.
What was your favorite thing to do for fun? Like your favorite out of everything?
My favorite thing was my brother and I playing baseball. We pitched to each other
Philip?
against the barn. My brother Philip.
Okay.
And we pitched to each other, and then we'd hit the ball. And we'd have to go out almost all the way up the hill to the pig barn, because if we hit a long fly ball, it went into the pig pasture. We'd have to retrieve the one ball, and then if the ball fell apart, we'd have to sew it back up, put some rags inside of it, and play some more.
My favorite was actually going to the movies on Sundays after we went to church, and then, as I got older, going dancing.
Movies after church, you said?
Yeah.
See a little dance move. Family chores. Who wants to go first? What are your family chores like?
Doing dishes, cleaning house, and that's really about it. Doing dishes and cleaning house. We didn't have any chores outside. My dad did those. Two girls, my sister and I, we did the stuff indoors. My dad worked outdoors. But my mother also helped my dad outside,
Oh, okay,
milking the cows and picking fruit and stuff.
Okay.
I had many chores. We used to milk cows, feed the sheep, the chickens. In the wintertime, they're all housed inside of the buildings. Had to loosen up the hay to feed and silage to feed the cows from the milking cows. Then they had calves down there also. And had possibly 100, 150 pigs. We used to have to grind the corn and grain up and mix it with skim milk to feed the pigs. Also, I chopped lots of wood, split wood for the kitchen stove, and cut it up into manually. Back in those days, it'd be a cross-cut saw, one on each end of it. We cut it into chunks.
Oh, yeah.
Then we'd have to take an axe and split it into small pieces to use in that kitchen stove in order to cook with.
It's like,
Does this thing pause?
only if you pause.
No. Okay. I gotta think. There's a lot more to add to this.
Oh, it's all right. We got a lot.
You got enough?
Yeah, we have a lot of questions. So, well, not a lot. What was school like for you as a child? And what was the highest schooling you got to?
School was a fun time for me. I had lots of friends in school, and then I got to play basketball, football, and baseball, which I enjoyed immensely. What was the last part of that?
What was the highest schooling you got to?
My highest schooling was a sophomore in college. I got to finish about a year and a half of a teacher's college, and until I was inducted into the service. I would have became an elementary teacher in 2 years back there
So
in Wisconsin.
Did you influence my dad to be a teacher then?
No,
I'm trying
I
to figure
didn't.
out how that all.
No, I didn't.
Okay, that's kind of interesting then. Kind of like in the gene pool. But okay, and then same thing. You were going to school like.
School, I like school, I guess. I went to a Catholic school, and when I was going to high school, we had to work on help to pay for our tuition, so we worked half our tuition off, and the other half my dad paid.
Oh, because private schools are costing.
Yeah, it was private school, and I went just going into the 11th, and that's about it. Truthfully, I didn't like school.
Okay. What school activity and sports did you participate in?
I already told you that.
Okay,
All of it.
I'll pass then. What about you?
I played softball.
Softball.
Who's got talking here?
I played softball.
Okay, this is kind of an interesting question. Was there any popular hairstyles or clothing when you were youth? Like the fad back then?
No, there was no popular clothing style or anything back in my day.
Was it just like,
You wore a pair of jeans to school and a t-shirt or whatever. In the wintertime, you dressed with a woolen shirt because it got to be 40-some below zero in Wisconsin in the wintertime. So in the spring and the fall, you just dressed appropriately for the time of the year it was.
Well, I went to school, we had to wear uniforms, so that was ours. We had ours. High school was a navy blue jumper with a white blouse and saddles. And in grade school, it was green jumpers and yellow blouses. And as far as popular clothes, I've never heard of such a thing.
popular? Here's another fun question. What were your favorite songs and music?
Well, I went to a lot of dances, and the waltzes and the polkas was favorite back there in my day.
Waltzes and...
Waltzes and polkas, and circle two-step. And then also, I liked country music, and I love it till this day. Country music,
who
my
are some of
favorite.
your favorite artists?
Now or back then?
Then,
Both. Then. You don't remember?
No, well, I think possibly would have been Hank Snow back in those days, but right now it's
Hank Williams Jr.
what's his name? I can't think of his name. That little guy with gray hair with
Charlie Pratt, no, not Charlie Pratt.
Barbara Mandrell is one of my favorite female artists.
George Jones.
George Jones for male. Travis Trick, I guess his name is another good one. George Strait. So I named quite a few of them.
Yeah, that was plenty.
I've always liked country too and still do, and some of the real old ones I can remember is Just Because, and I'm Looking Over the Four-Leaf Clover. Singers, I never had any certain singers.
Looking for a four-leaf clover.
Looking Over the Four-Leaf Clover.
Over another song.
Yeah. Those are just two old ones I can really remember.
Okay.
One of my favorite songs was On Top of Old Smoky. Smoky.
On summer days, what did you enjoy doing, and also during the winter days?
Summer days I didn't have much time for play, but my brother and I used to play up in the sand hill, what they call the sand hill. We pretended that sticks that we had, my brother would cut them in pieces, and we pretended they were our cows. Then he made little wagons so that we could haul the feed to put in front of these sticks, and we pretended that was our farm. That was our farm animals back in those days. We had it laid out on the ground, and we pretend we were milking these cows. That sand we loaded up in the little wagon, hauled it to the creamery, and dumped it there. That was part of our enjoyment in the summertime, besides playing baseball, basketball, and against each other, because we didn't have any close relatives back in my day. I mean, friends back there.
So it was just you and Phil, pretty much. You used to hang out all the time. Buddies.
My brother Philip and I, we were as close friends as you could be back in those days.
Like me and Casey.
Yeah, exactly. But there was no friends in our valley, in that valley of Milk Creek, close by, because you'd have to walk 5 miles to get to the next place. Okay, next.
best, in the summertime, I think baseball. I mean, I used to go to the baseball games almost every night because I lived right across the street. So I went to a lot of baseball games and enjoyed them. And going to movies and just playing outside with their dolls. And we used to play with my sister and my aunt, like they play and they'd be Roy Rogers and Gene Autry, and I'd always be Frog's wife, which you wouldn't know who he is.
You play with mom and what? Or,
My sister and my aunt,
oh,
Where they at?
Tracy.
okay. How about? Oops. Let me do like this. Did you have any pets that you remember? Or any special pets, should I say, since you had like hundreds of pigs and all that? Like special pets you remember?
My favorite pet was Dewey the horse.
Dewey,
His
how do you
name
spell
was
that?
Dewey. Dewey.
D
D like dog.
E
Dewey.
W E Y. Dewey the horse.
And Lassie the dog.
Lassie the dog.
Mine was always dogs. When we lived in the country, I had a dog like you guys have in the house, those little ones.
Oh.
And,
Jack Russell?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, and he used to go with us to the bus stop and back, and one day he got hit by a car because we were almost missing the bus. And before that, he had gotten his leg cut off by my dad when he's cutting the hay. But he lived, and I always did have a dog since I can
What
remember.
was his name? Do you remember?
Spot.
Huh, that's interesting. What church did you attend?
I attended the Reformed Methodist Church in Elma, Wisconsin. Was baptized there and attended Sunday school.
Elma or Alma?
ALMA, Alma, Wisconsin, which we're possibly going to go back and visit next year.
Yeah, we can visit some of these churches too. Seriously.
Sure.
Okay.
I was raised Catholic, and I went to St. Paul's. That's where I went to school also.
St. Paul's in Yakima.
Yeah.
Okay. What world events had the most impact on you while growing up?
The Second World War had the greatest impact on me when, especially when I get these comic books and you see these Japanese airplanes with the sun on it flying over and bombing Pearl Harbor. And the start of that Second World War was devastating in my memories.
It was very like, what do I call it? Frightening. Well, besides frightening, I can't think of the word. Was there any effects on it in the long run, like that still affect you today? Like any little?
No, today I don't have any memories of that at all. It's just that I would
You just
remembered in my childhood days we go in on Sundays to get a comic book and you see all these pictures of the German fighters and the Japanese airplanes coming over and bombing our ships in Pearl Harbor.
I also remember the same thing as World War II, and I think it's because I had the 3 uncles that were in there, and 2 of them got wounded, but they did survive. But I do remember that.
You had 3 uncles in there?
Yeah.
Were they from the Moser side?
All of them Moses.
And 2 got injured.